Okay, we'll get started now. So hello everyone and welcome to this webinar on mining innovation opportunities in Peru. I'm Sheldon Varco, the Manager of International Projects at Austmine, and I'm very pleased to be hosting this webinar today. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that I'm hosting this webinar from the lands of the Gadigal people, and we acknowledge the traditional custodians of the various lands on which we all meet today and recognise the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people attending this webinar. Next slide, please. Today's webinar is co-hosted with the Peru Mining Innovation Hub, who are a key global partner of Austmines. The Peru Hub is an association of leading mining companies that aims to facilitate innovation and collaboration in the sector and promotes co-development in response to key industry challenges. This webinar will explore their PERUMIN Hub program in more detail, which is an open innovation initiative that runs in alignment with the PERUMIN Convention in Arequipa in September in Peru. So we thank them for their support and their continued collaboration. Next slide. For the agenda today, we'll begin by examining the current state and future opportunities in the Peruvian mining industry. Daniel Serkovich, who is a member of the PERUMIN Hub Organising Committee and also a very good friend of Austmine's, will join us to explore the major commodities, key projects, investment pipeline, and significant challenges in Peru. Following Daniel, we'll hand over to Miguel Alor Flores, who's the Innovation Manager at the Peru Mining Innovation Hub, and he will run through an overview of the PERUMIN Hub Open Innovation Program and the process to get involved. This will include a discussion of the 10 key challenges put forward by the Peruvian mining industry organisations. There will then be some time for audience Q&A at the end, so you can use the Q&A box to send your questions through at any time. If we don't have a chance to answer it live, we'll get back to you via email ASAP after the webinar. Next slide, please. And just before we begin, I'd just like to provide some key information about upcoming METS activities in Peru. The first is the Australian Pavilion and Business Program at PERUMIN 2025, which will be in 2022 to 26 September in Arequipa, Peru. PERUMIN is one of Latin America's largest and most influential events. It includes a comprehensive program of senior industry leaders in its presentations and panel discussions, and a very large exhibition of the latest products, technologies, and mining machinery from all around the globe. So Austrade will host the Australian presence at the event, and this will include the Australian Pavilion, where there is one booth currently remaining, and also a business program that incorporates briefings with mining companies, customer visits to the Australian hub, and then the flagship Australia networking night during PERUMIN. So please get in touch after the webinar if you're interested, and Austmine will refer you your inquiry through to the Austrade Peruvian team for more information. Next slide. And the week following PERUMIN, Austmine will lead the Peru Mining Mission. So the mining mission will host up to 12 Australian METS companies for a comprehensive week of meetings, site visits, briefings, and networking events to generate exclusive market insights, connections with customers, and then the development of new partnerships. So we're currently working on the program with an aim to visit the Serra Verde and Quellaveco operations, followed by a range of meetings with mining organizations and key industry stakeholders in Lima, and some great networking events as well. So if you're interested in the mission as well, please touch base via email to express your interest, and then you'll be the first to hear more information once we launch applications. Next slide. So that's all for the introduction. So we'll now get started with the webinar. I'm very pleased to welcome Daniel Serkovich for his presentation. Welcome, Daniel, and great to see you again.
Thank you, Sheldon. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending where you are. Thank you for joining this brief presentation on the Peruvian mining industry. My name is Daniel Serkovich, and today I will provide key insights into Peru's long-standing mining tradition, its current global product position in the world, investment opportunities that you might find there, and emerging challenges, and the role of the Australian mining equipment, technology, and services, known as METS, providers in shaping the industry in the future. Next slide, please. So Peru has a long mining tradition. Mining has been an integral part of Peru's history dating back to approximately 2000 BC or even earlier. Over the centuries, it has evolved through distinct phases, So gold was considered the treasure of the Incas Empire, and when the Spanish people arrived into Americas, they found these massive amounts of gold. So mining already was kind of executed over there at that time. So during that, but after that, when the Spanish built the colony, silver extraction became a major industry as well, positioning Peru as one of the world leading silver producers. But over the years as well, once Peru became an independent republic between 1830s and 1879, salt pepper also became, or let's call it potassium nitrate as well, become a key commodity for Peru economic development. And in modern times, Peru regained as well prominence in gold production with a kind of global deposits such as Yanacocha and Pierina reaching peak outputs. And now we can see today becoming a very proficient and leading producer of copper through this copper boom, with major deposits expanding its already diverse portfolio in the mineral commodities. So each era has shaped Peru's economies and strengthened its position as a global mining leader. Next slide, please. Yeah. One less, no? That one, yes. Thank you. So Peru remains a key player in global mining. Despite its vast territory, only 1.49% of the land is actively mined, leaving significant untapped potential. As of 2025, Peru ranked amongst the world top producers in copper, silver, zinc, and gold, competing with leading nations such as Australia, China, and United States. Sorry, I have the table with a Spanish name. I think it might be also good for you to have some familiarity with the Spanish names of the commodities. But as you can see, Peru is very relevant in the global mining industry, with producing key commodities around the world. Next slide, please. So regarding mining operations, as you can see, Peru has approximately 762 units actively mined and 392 in exploration. So this is a huge amount. You can find a very diversified market or industry with open pit mines, underground, non-metallic or quarries. And also something I really wanted to highlight here is the scale of each operation might be different depending on the region and the location they are placed. So we divided in Peru the mining industry in 3 sectors based on the scale: large mining, medium mining, and small mining. Each of them will face different challenges. So they actually become kind of sub-sectors or sub-markets because technology, products, and services might differ depending on what type of or scale of operation are we targeting. So this is important as well to understand from a provider or supplier perspective. Next slide, please. So I will start by the right side, where we have several international mining companies operating in Peru with a global best practice and standard kind of futures, and technologies. So you can find some Australian ones like BHP or MMG having very large operations in Peru. But the charts or the tables are kind of describing or focusing on what are the comparison between the scale of the operations that we have in Peru and the annual production in different commodities with Australia and globally. As you can see, in some commodities, actually, we are at the same scale than Australia, and as we are one of the top producers globally. In others, we are not at the level probably than Australia, but we can see that the mining sector in Peru is very important, and it has a very good scale for acquiring services and technologies. On the bottom table, you also can find a comparison between copper operations. As you know, we are facing the boom, the copper boom, and you will find in Peru very large operations, most of them managed by international companies as well, like Cerro Verde, Antamina, Las Bambas. Probably we are one step down from Chile regarding the scale. However, the amount of operations we have with around 430, 450,000 fine metric tons per year are considerable. And as you can see, comparing with some Australian operations, we are at that level of production that it will be an attractive company to target. Next slide, please. So regarding the portfolio of mining, so what's coming next? So sorry, I just yeah. So we have a very good investment portfolio. So 67 projects, which hopefully will bring into Peru $64 billion in the next couple of years. As you can see, it's a very diversified commodity based portfolio. And you can see it, which is probably interesting, is China being the first investor from outside in mining operations in Peru. And probably this will keep increasing. As you know, now we opened the new port, which is a mega port in South America and a key asset for South America to bring and kind of do commercialization of products with Asia and Australia as well. So China will become more relevant over the next couple of years. However, saying that, Canada and US as well are top kind of investors in the future in mining operations. Next slide, please. And this is for exploration projects. And I wanted to put this slide and highlight the fact that Peru actually is investing in its kind of resources. So Peru is the main investor, and we have 84 projects for over $1 billion in around across all 17 departments or states in Peru. And after Peru, Canada, of course, it's a major exploration player worldwide, so it has a lot of investment there, and Brazil and United Kingdom as well, or UK. And the variety of the commodities is as diverse as was the mining projects as well. So that I think is something important to highlight about the market or the industry in Peru, is the diversification of their commodities. Next slide, please. Now, just more focusing now on met suppliers, and I think this is more relevant to the audience here. You can see the mining suppliers in Peru, Australia is leading the market or the presence with 90 companies there. We also have major players as well as China, United States, Canada. So I think the mining industry in Peru is keen to get new technologies, services, and providers from overseas and adapt them into their operations. So Australia with 90 companies, you can see some examples as well. 65 of them are actually working with a local presence and working from Peru, and 25 of them are kind of doing it remotely with a kind of presence going into major events like the PERUMIN and some kind of business sessions that Austmine generate. But I think there's also a massive opportunity to grow as more projects will come, and as well more medium-sized kind of scale operations are growing and increasing their production and going into a major or large scale sizes. Next slide, please. So this is more about the mining industry challenges, and I think Miguel will cover this one because I think events or programs like PERUMIN Hub are really focused on trying to get these new technologies, new products into our industry. So PERUMIN Hub, as part of the program, has run a workshop, a session with the major mining operations and mining companies in Peru, talking with CEOs and key managers in each area to kind of gather and select and prioritize which ones will be the main challenges area for this year. They divided in three main sectors: the circular and regenerative mining, new horizons in mining, and smart mining. But I won't talk too much because I know Miguel will cover this more in detail. But I think it's a good introduction to see that we already have identified what is going to be required in the industry. And I think what we would like to get from companies like you from overseas as well. Next slide, please. So just summarizing, so Peru, it's a mining market, one of the major ones around the world. We are growing, keep growing. So we have major projects coming on the pipeline in the next couple of years. So it's a massive opportunity for exploration and mining projects to become real in the next couple of years. We also are a really attractive market to commercialize products and services and new technologies based on the scale and the number of operations we have over there. But something that I haven't seen much, but I think actually it's a massive opportunity, is we can be considered like a laboratory, like a lab to develop and test new technologies. So programs like PERUMIN Hub are kind of focusing into partnership and get more of these companies that are innovating new products and bring them into Peru, so we are able to test it in those kind of environments and find the solutions that the industry in Peru is looking for. So I think as more we can get that relationship between startups or companies that are developing products and the Peruvian sector as a laboratory to test them, we will actually be finding more solutions to target the problems that they are facing. Next slide, please. And that's it. That's all from me. So thank you for your time, and I look forward to your questions if you have any. Thank you, Sheldon.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot for that, Daniel. That was a great scene setter for today, and I definitely echo your statements at the end that Peru represents a great opportunity for Australian Mets companies, and Austmine has seen that firsthand in the last few years that we've been visiting the market regularly. So I definitely encourage the companies online today to look at the opportunities in Peru if you haven't done so already. And yes, if you have any questions for Daniel, please submit those in the Q&A box. I already see quite a few coming through, so that's great. I'm now pleased to welcome Miguel Alo Flores to the webinar to provide an overview of the PERUMIN Hub Open Innovation Program and to talk more through some of the key challenges for the mining organizations in Peru. So welcome, Miguel, and thanks a lot for partnering on this initiative with Austmine.
Good morning or evening, everyone. Thank you all for attending this session. Thanks to Austmine for hosting this event, and thank you, Sheldon and Daniel. My name is Miguel Lor, and I'm representing the Mining Innovation Hub in Peru. It's a pleasure to be here with you and to share especially what this new edition of PERUMIN Hub will be like, and above all, the opportunities it offers for companies like yours. So this program was born within the framework of the PERUMIN conference, and it's thanks to a partnership between the Institute of Mining Engineers of Peru and the Mining Innovation Hub in Peru. Its goal is to guide innovators, facilitating their growth, consolidation, and commercial success within the Peruvian mining industry. And for those who don't know us yet, PERUMIN Hub is an open innovation program focused on finding solutions to the major challenges facing the Peruvian mining sector through collaborative innovation. We seek innovative solutions to industry challenges by connecting companies, entrepreneurs, researchers, and young talent. We have two main lines. The first one is the green one that you can see there in the screen. It's called Innovations That Take Off, or Innovaciones que Despegan. And that's our original line since the creation of PERUMIN Hub, focused on companies or startups with innovations with a prototype to be validated for the first time in the mining industry, or innovations that have already been tested and validated in a Peruvian or foreign mining company with positive results in the last 3 years. We later realized the importance of nurturing a pipeline of talent, and we launched Young People Who Transform, or Jóvenes que Transforman. This line engages university students and recent graduates who want to contribute with disruptive solutions to the sector, and we aim to promote the development of ideas and creativity in future professionals interested in the mining industry. So, but today I will talk about innovaciones que despegan, or innovations that take off, and what's coming in this edition. So this fourth edition already brings many opportunities to strengthen the mining innovation ecosystem. And in each of these phases, each of its phases, we have this collaborative approach. So in the first phase, that is the challenge phase, we have articulated 18 mining companies that identified, characterized, and share their main challenges. And this information helps actually innovators to develop solid proposals aligned with the sector's real needs. Then we had the matchmaking phase that is about matchmaking sessions between innovators with the mining industry, but also informative sessions in order to communicate about the challenges and what is PERUMIN Hub. We are currently in the contest phase. That includes the application period, the demo days where companies present their solutions, and they receive the evaluations by expert allies in each team. Then the finalists are announced and travel to PERUMIN in Arequipa. And if a mining company is interested in piloting a solution, the follow-up will be provided to assess the innovation's impact. And probably this is the most important information of my presentation is 2025 challenges for this edition, where, as I mentioned, 18 mining companies participated. And we have grouped them in 3 thematic areas. The first one is circular and regenerative mining. The second one is smart mining. And the third one is new horizons in mining. As you can see, there are some challenges that are gray colored, while there are other in yellow colored frames. And we have made this distinction because there are some challenges that have been always in the mining sector, and the yellow ones are like new challenges that have appeared in this edition. So in the first thematic area, the first challenge is how can we reduce water consumption, maximize its reuse, and design mining systems that regenerate water sources. Here we seek proposals that optimize water use with a watershed approach, incorporate real-time monitoring, or promote natural regeneration of water sources. So we are here also interested in joint work with communities, with the national water authorities, or nature-based solutions. The second challenge is how can we reduce waste and tailings or transform them into valuable inputs for other industries. Here we have a circular economy approach. So we expect solutions that add value to tailings, or to extend the life cycle of materials, or enable reuse of these tailings or materials in other sectors like construction, agriculture, or any other sector. In the third challenge, we have how can we achieve carbon neutral mining operations through renewable energy, carbon capture, and ecosystem regeneration. Here we want solutions integrating clean energy, improving energy efficiency, reducing all types of emissions from the direct sources and those also in the value chain. And the last challenge in this first thematic area is how can we restore the environment during the mine closure. So this challenge targets solutions that leave a positive legacy in the end. So environmental monitoring, post-closure land use, ecosystem restoration, or also the active involvement of local communities in closure and post-closure stage are well received here. The second thematic area is smart mining. The first challenge here is how can we improve efficiency and productivity in operations using emerging technologies while ensuring adoption by the workforce. So here we want solutions, of course, using emerging technologies like automation, AI, advanced analytics, but that also consider the workers' reality. Peru has a digital infrastructure gap, also capacity and skills gap. So the ease of use, training, and long-term support is also well valued in this challenge. The second challenge here is how can we minimize risks and improve mining safety with new technologies. Here we seek technologies to prevent accidents in the most general way, but also focused on mining safety, like in the health and operational work. So monitor fatigue, health, the use of smart sensors, or also the use of technology to reduce exposure to risk zones, solutions that automate dangerous tasks, or even solutions that enhance cybersecurity are also welcome. The third challenge here is how can we optimize exploration and mineral extraction with advanced technologies. So the goal here is faster, safer, and more accurate exploration. We're looking for proposals using machine learning, remote sensors, automated drilling, real-time geological modeling, whatever technology you think that could help exploration and mineral extraction are also welcome here. And the last challenge in this second thematic area is how can we use emerging technologies to prevent, detect, and mitigate illegal mining. And in Peru, this is an urgent challenge. We're having a lot of problems linked with this, with illegal mining. So here we are looking for real-time detection of these practices, maybe the use of blockchain for traceability, or any kind of scalable, accessible tech for oversight and enforcement will be also well valued here. And the last thematic area is new horizons in mining. The first one is how can mining develop new products and business models aligned with global trends. So this challenge includes diversification into new sectors like the fertilizers market, electromobility, minerals for health, for agriculture. So we value models integrating local suppliers, circular economy, or even the ESG impact as organizational, social, and environmental value. And last but not least, how can we optimize and reduce operating costs in the logistics value chain through technology and stakeholder synergies? So this challenge aims to improve everything from the mine to the port. So routing, traceability, standardization, logistics resilience. Crucially, it calls for inclusion of communities, but also suppliers in sustainable solutions. As you can see, these challenges reflect not only technical issues, but also a forward-looking vision where sustainability, innovation, and collaboration go hand in hand. We have a website where the challenges are explained in detail, along with value elements to help applicants generate ideas for potential solutions. The link will be shared in the chat so everyone can access to more information. I will. So this is the the slide about the contest phase. As I previously mentioned, it includes the application or the open call period. It has started already on May 15th, and it will last till June 23rd. Then we will also have the demo days around August, by the end of August, where companies present their solutions at an event. We will have expert allies in each team that will evaluate the presentations. And then we will have the final, the list of finalists that will be announced and travel to PERUMIN Arequipa. As I mentioned, in case of the mining companies interested in piloting a solution, the follow-up will be provided. We have these prices and benefits. So the key or the main benefit of being a finalist will be the participation in PERUMIN 37, as Daniel mentioned. This is a very important conference around the world, one of the most important and the most relevant one in Peru, where 15 finalists will have the opportunity to participate in the PERUMIN 37 mining convention. We will offer round-trip domestic flights that within Peru, so to the city of Arequipa for one representative per organization. Also, we will provide accommodation and meals for one representative per organization, and two entry passes to PERUMIN 37 for the representatives per finalist organization. As I mentioned in the beginning, we have two main categories. So the first one is innovations to be validated. So this is for solutions that have passed the conceptual validation phase and now have a prototype ready for field validation. This is also for international companies. And then we also have the successful innovation line that is focused on solutions that have already been tested and validated in the field by mining companies or also centers simulating real conditions, whether Peruvian or international, with satisfactory results obtained between 2022 and 2025. Also, this is open to international companies. And this is also very important to mention, both lines could be in partnership. So we also welcome partnerships and alliances between companies that want to enter the Peruvian mining sector. So where do I submit my solution? As I already mentioned, this is open till June 23rd. It's a very straightforward process. You can scan the link. It will take you to the PERUMIN Hub webpage, where you can access the guidelines and also the link for application. This is a platform. As I mentioned, it's very easy to use, where you can submit it is a form where you complete with your solution, with the challenge you are responding to, more information about your company. And then we also have a couple of annexes. The first one is a cover letter that it includes or it mentions that you are representing the company you're applying for. And there is also a second annex that is just a collaboration letter in case you are applying with other organizations. And that's it. If you have any questions, you can always write an email to us, to the first email that is mentioned here. I will also share with you in the chat the application link and the 2025 guidelines, so you can review them. And in case you have any questions, you can also write them in the Q&A box, or you can also write if something appears later. Thank you very much, and thanks for being here.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot for that, Miguel. And it's definitely a great program for Australian METS companies to take a look at. I witnessed some of the presentations, and Austmine's been involved in the program the last few years. It definitely provides really good exposure to the mining industry in Peru. So I encourage companies to jump on. We now have quite a few questions coming in, which is great. So I might ask the team to, you can take the slide pack down and we can do the Q&A with the handsome faces of Daniel and Miguel a bit more prominent. So we might start with some questions around the technical information with the challenges. So I'll ask this question first from Rod, and maybe you can just clarify, Miguel, some of the timeline and information for the challenge. So am I correct in understanding we have 7 days to prepare and submit a response? So just to confirm, the close of the challenge will be the 23rd of June. Now, is that Peruvian close of business Peruvian time?
Yes, Peruvian time.
Okay, and as there's only about a week remaining for companies to submit, what's the general guideline on how long the submission may take companies?
It's a very short form. It's very easy to fill it up. I think if you have already your what you are gonna answer to any of these questions, you can fill it up in, I don't know, 15 minutes or 20 minutes. So it's not a very long or complicated survey or form, I would say. And the cover letter and annex is just a format of 1 page. So I think it's not that difficult to fill it up. And it's a great opportunity to participate in the contest.
Excellent. Thanks, Miguel. This next question from James. So we've answered the first part about the challenge is still open until 23rd of June. They asked what funding may be available. Now, obviously you went through the prizes there of those finalists. Following the contest with the Peru Innovation Hub, what may be the next step for companies? Would it then be up to them to engage with individual mining companies, or is there a next step after PERUMIN for successful companies?
So the PERUMIN conference is also a great opportunity for being, and there is not just like Peruvian mining companies, but companies from around the world come and see and visit what are the solutions. And actually the PERUMIN Hub pavilion is one very important one. So I think that's a great opportunity. In case of, if a mining company is interested in piloting a solution, we will be supporting the mining, the one side, the mining company to connect with the provider company or the solution provider. So some piloting or maybe implementation can be done in the following months or in the next year. So this is for us is an important opportunity for companies to implement their solutions in the Peruvian mining industry, and also is a great opportunity for us to create an impact. So if there is interest from the mining sector, we will definitely push the meetings, the one-on-one meetings, one-to-one meetings, so they can meet between each other and see what opportunities could be for piloting or implementing the solutions during the following months after the PERUMIN convention.
Excellent. Thank you, Miguel.
Just
Yes.
to add to that comment, so just to give a little bit of context of the program. So as I mentioned it, the program actually, the challenges were identifying joining around 40 CEOs or key managers from different mining companies in Peru. So those companies also are gonna have a member on the judging panel. So they will actually review the final innovation ideas that we put together and we pass through the filters. They will have access to all these kind of 40 mining companies in a way, because some member of those companies will review those ideas to decide who is going to be the winner. That's one benefit. So you already will have exposure to the mining industry itself in Peru. But the other one is the winners, the 15 ones, as Miguel mentioned it, they're going to present in the major event. So basically you will have a room of 100 people or more from the mining companies attending the presentation of these innovation ideas in the main event. So that's an additional one. And on top of that, if you are participating in PERUMIN as a kind of a member or present or having a booth in your in the event, these kind of programs are not an additional cost to it. They are free. So you are able to participate, and if you win, you are able to go and attend and do the presentation and everything. So yeah, and regarding the time to submit the ideas, let's see how we are going. As Miguel mentioned, it is not initially to apply. It's not hard work and demanding work. However, saying that there will be some key areas that probably you might need to focus, which is to get more chances to go through the process. You know, like for example, if you have a case study already kind of proving or the idea or that you have tested the idea before, that will add a little bit more of confidence as well to get more points into the challenge itself, into the contest. So those kind of things are relevant to kind of put all that information together and submit it on time. If you need more time, let us know, because probably we can internally talk with Miguel, with the committee as well, to see if for applicants coming from Australia and with Austmine, because we did the presentation today, we can extend it a couple of days more as well if you require more time to do it. So it's always something to do.
Excellent. Thanks, Daniel. And I'll reiterate that great opportunity about presenting at PERUMIN with those finalists. I witnessed some of those presentations last time, last PERUMIN, and very crowded room of mining organizations and other industrial companies looking at solutions. So it is a very good opportunity. Another question about the challenge here, Miguel. So are any of your challenges specifically focused on copper mining, or was there input from copper mining companies as well to these challenges?
So, as I mentioned, there are 18 mining companies that participating in this prioritization or challenge prioritization. So, and all these companies work with gold, with silver, with copper. So the challenges, let's say, it involves, or the challenge construction involve many mining companies that work with copper, yes, but not specifically are focused on just copper. So the challenges involve problems that come from mining from silver operations, from gold operations, from copper operations, and so on. So it's not just focused on that, but it involves also copper mining companies.
Excellent. Thank you, Miguel. And there's a few questions here from following Daniel's presentation. So the first I'll ask is from Ramiro. In terms of operational scale, large, medium, small, what is the size of each segment relative to each other? So which is the dominating scale? I believe he means in terms of size of mines.
Yeah, that you can see it from two different perspectives: number of mines or volumes produced. Of course, from a volume perspective, the large-scale mines are the dominant ones. However, from a volume perspective, I would say that the medium-sized mining companies has more volume, so you will have more of those operations. Saying that, for example, you know, we are one of the main producers of silver and zinc and lead. Those mines, the major mining companies in Peru can be Buenaventura or Minsur. Some of them actually are a joint of small, medium-sized operations that together they bring this kind of large volumes into the market. And most of them are underground, narrow veins, so the equipment that they will require is different, for example, from the large scale copper deposits underground that Chile has. So those are the kind of challenges that these kind of mining companies. So I don't have the exact numbers on regarding the sizes, but I would say, like, regarding numbers, yeah, we have a big market of medium size, many medium-sized operations in Peru, but in volume, of course, the large operations, large-scale operations, mainly copper and gold, are the dominant ones.
Excellent. Yeah. And in terms of Australian Mets companies looking at their value proposition, so if you're looking at solutions and services for open pit mining, you're generally looking at very large scale copper projects in Peru. And those are the ones that a lot of Australian companies know because of the investment from your Anglo American, BHP, Glencore, etc. For the silver, gold, and lead, zinc, they're mostly underground operations. I think I heard a statistic that actually about 60% of operations in Peru are underground operations in terms of number. So you have two very distinct target markets there to consider, depending on what your innovation or technology is when you're entering the Peruvian industry.
And I think a point that Miguel mentioned, it, Sheldon, was about the small scale mining operations, which it's becoming a little bit of a challenge in Peru, because some of them are preferring to go more into the kind of illegal side of the operation, and we don't want that. So we are actually looking for some solutions or smart ideas of how we actually can control this and benefit this kind of operation, so they keep in the formal side and the legal side, plus also have benefits, you know, from the business as well. So any idea or proposition that can help us to go through that is going to be very well received in the PERUMIN, because I think one of the main focus of the PERUMIN is going to be how we can target and solve this challenge we are facing.
Yes, for sure, Daniel. It's a very key issue, and I'd encourage, if for those Australian companies online who aren't aware of some of the issues, look up just some news items from Peru and illegal mining at the moment, because it is a very urgent challenge that this sector needs to tackle. This next question comes from James. So he says, very interesting background. Thank you, Daniel. Is there a carbon tax on mining, or is there regulation around mine decommissioning, remediation, and closure? And how many mines may be in that phase?
Yeah, that's a a difficult question to answer. I might need to go back to you, James, with the details. But saying that there's no tax, carbon tax, in Peru currently, there's discussions that if they're gonna proceed on with that. Regarding closures and remediation, yeah, there is a regulation there in place. We don't have many examples. I know that, for example, Pierina, one of the gold deposits that I mentioned, that was kind of the boom of the gold in early 2000, that's already went through a closure stage, but we don't have many. And saying that, we have a lot of assets that require proper closure, especially the ones that come from long time ago, that we are looking as well for solutions how to control and mitigate the impact of the remainings of the remaining products of the mining operations there, that unfortunately were not kind of best practice or standards as the current mines are. So as you know, we have some kind of a legacy from those operations.
Yeah, and some of those old mines that haven't been closed properly can also be targets for illegal mining activities as well. So it feeds into that issue you were discussing.
Correct.
We have a couple of questions left. So this first one, so where does Australia, this is for you, Daniel, where does Australia rank in terms of mining investment, both operations and exploration? So you had that graph before where you had China #1, Canada 2. I know from a government perspective, Australia would love to be higher up. Do you know where we're currently sitting?
I don't have exactly where we are in the rank. Probably we will be in the top 10, definitely. So we have companies like MMG, BHP through the joint venture in Antamina, and I know they have some exploration projects as well there. But I don't have the exact numbers. I will I will find them and have, probably have the top 10 instead of the top 5. But definitely we are very well considered in the market. However, there's a lot of room for make it bigger, definitely.
Excellent. And a question for you, Miguel. So do Australian companies need to have an entity in Peru to participate in this program?
No, they do not need an entity in Peru. They can apply as international companies.
Excellent. That's good news, Miguel. I would encourage companies, if you are looking at going to PERUMIN, of course, and entering this challenge. If you haven't currently got a plan in place, do start considering what your growth trajectory into Peru may look like, because just generally in terms of engaging with mining organizations in the market, having a local presence in Peru, it is one of those markets where they do like to, I guess, see a face on the ground and for companies to demonstrate that they're committed to the market. So from a long-term perspective, if you're looking to go to enter Peru, do start thinking about what your strategy may look like in terms of representation or entering directly. James makes the point about that they can support with mine closure. So that's great, James. Sounds like you've got a good opportunity through this process. Mike asks, what are the challenges that resource owners are experiencing with lack of data from drilling operations, such as exploration, water well, grade control, drill and blast, etc.? So Miguel, I know that's one of the key challenges is looking at faster and more accurate exploration and technologies to support that. Through the process, was there any clear challenges identified with data, or a combination of things that's led to that challenge?
It's more a combination of things. So the use of advanced technologies, of emerging technologies in general, for exploration and extraction, but not specifically a focus on data, let's say.
Okay, fantastic. Excellent. That is all the questions we had submitted. So thanks a lot to the audience for being very interactive and having some great questions there. As Daniel mentioned, if there's any information that you require, we're very happy to follow up with the panelists to request any further information. And that does now bring us to the end for today's webinar. So I'll just reiterate to finish. Miguel has submitted some links there in the chat that you can use to find more information about the PERUMIN Hub program. We'll also be circulating this recording and the slides in follow-up later today via email. A reminder, 23rd of June, close of business Peruvian time is when you need to submit by. The application, as Daniel and Miguel mentioned, is relatively straightforward. And I'll just reiterate that the opportunity to present at PERUMIN, I would see as one of the key benefits as being part of this program, because it is a very high level audience and lots of mining operators around. So I definitely encourage you to take part and participate. If you also require any further information about PERUMIN Australian Pavilion or the Austmine Peru mission, do also get in touch with me directly after the webinar and we can provide you with more information. So just to wrap up, I'd like to say a big thank you to both Daniel and Miguel for your time on the webinar today. Thanks for sharing those insights on the market. And thank you to everyone who attended, and we look forward to welcoming you to the next webinar and to continuing to support your global journey. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you
Thanks,
all.
Daniel and Miguel. Appreciate it.